Now, I've asked several officials who can actually talk to us inside this building, and the one person we've been told we can interview is a spokesperson for the Secretary General.
Claims found to be outside the scope of Section 29 of the Convention are not receivable. The consequence of a finding that a claim is not receivable is that the claim will not receive further consideration by the organization.
That statement was very brief.
It's a brief statement, it's a legal statement, and that's about all we're going to say on that.
But why is the claim not receivable?
Well, it's not the United Nations practice to discuss in public the details of or responses to claims against the organization.
So you don't have to explain yourselves?
No.
You're saying that not only do they not get compensation, but you don't even have to explain why?
Well, that's exactly what I've said. That's the United Nations policy.
What would you say to a family member in Haiti who has had somebody die as a result of this disease?
Well, I would basically say, as a UN employee or as a human being? As both. I would simply say, I'm really sorry about your loss. I'm really sorry that the cholera happened. We don't exactly know what the origins are, but we're working as hard as we can to address
everybody knows what the origins were. The scientific community is united.
Our panel told us that it was due to a confluence of circumstances.
Including being brought to Haiti, most likely by UN peacekeepers from
That's not what it said.
Wait a minute. So the UN still maintains that Nepalese soldiers weren't the most likely source of cholera in Haiti? We asked one of their own scientists.
The most likely source of cholera into Haiti was someone associated with the Mirabelais-Manousta facility.
Danielle Lontagne was one of the experts appointed by the UN to investigate the Nepalese base. They found a range of evidence pointing towards the UN peacekeepers, including that the type of cholera was very similar to a recent outbreak in Nepal.
Since the time of our report, our conclusions have been significantly strengthened. The Nepal strain of cholera was fully sequenced and compared to the Haitian strain. And when they did that direct comparison, it was found that of the 4 million base pairs in cholera, there was only one base pair that was different between the two strains. And in genetics, we consider that an exact match.
As far as we know, the claims that they are giving us are non-receivable, and that's under international law.
Stonewalled by this official, we decided there must be someone at UN headquarters who could explain the organization's decision.
We spoke to the press office.
Before security could shut us down.
Oh, here's Martin. Hey.
Eventually, we found a more senior spokesperson.
I mean, is there anyone else who can? Because seriously, he was literally reading from a piece of paper.
It seems a little odd to me that you're interviewing me about the interview you've had with my deputy.
Well, we're trying to get answers, and he wasn't able to give any. He just said it's something that I don't have answers to.
Well, why do you think that it would be any different with me?
Is there anyone who would have those answers?
Sebastian, you've asked me that question 3 times now, and I think you know what the answer is. And I think it would actually be quite polite if you would switch this off now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and don't you think that's...
Okay.
At every turn, the story from UN officials was the same. Outright refusal to accept any responsibility, yet a complete inability to explain why. It was the same from Haiti to New York, from those on the ground to those at the very top.
Mr. Secretary General, what explanation is there for the fact that there's no compensation being paid to the families of the victims?
I think I have made it quite clear the reason why this case is not receivable.
And was it your decision ultimately? Whose decision was it in the end?
Oh yes, it was my decision, but based on all careful consideration.
Do you think it's the right decision?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But for the families of the victims?
Well, why don't you talk to my legal counsel?
So you were saying there's no possibility at all of speaking with anyone from legal counsel?
Following the Secretary General's advice, I did put several calls in, but was told that the UN's legal counsel was unavailable for comment.
So we've spotted the Secretary General again in this room. We're going to try and catch him when he comes out. We haven't got access to the office.
Time, sir. Thank you.
So you said we could get access to the...
It's enough. It's enough. It's enough.
We haven't given any access to the Office of Legal Counsel. Thank you. Well, we've just been told that the media office has said that they don't actually want us back in the building at all because of displeasure at the fact that we've been asking questions to officials in the hallways. They've said that we're effectively banned from filming in the United Nations complex.
On an intellectual level, the UN's rejection of our claims was expected, but on an emotional level, the UN's rejection was still very hard to take because you're left thinking about people in Bocazel who lost their child, the family in Sodo who lost the father and mother and are condemned to generational poverty, and you think that their chances of getting justice have been reduced.
Parce que nous avons longtemps souffert là. Réfléchissez bien. En 2010, il y a un choléra, arrivé 2013 là. Haïtiens ont mouru, Haïtiens ont diarrhée, ici, c'est sur l'autre bord.
In Haiti, along with their sadness, the costs of burying their dead have left the family who we met with Mario and his lawyers severely in debt. Their son's grave is in a cemetery close to their house, but the death of the last male in the family has left them with no reliable income. They've just had to pull his 11-year-old daughter out of school.
Et puis là, voulez pour l'école, nous-mêmes nous pas gain comme l'école là pour nous payer l'école là et puis pour direction l'école pas recevoir pour nous sans comme côté de l'école là. Ouais, ça fait nous mal. Ça fait nous mal en pile.
The UN's decision hadn't even been made when we first met this family. But it seemed they had a sense of what was coming.
Et le ministère lui-même, même l'elle connaît, elle fait, il a toujours plaidé, dit non, pas de faire. Parce que le peuple là, lui-même, son peuple, un petit peuple grand goulier, il est en connaît reste manger ministère bien, la journée pour manger, c'est tout normal, il capable pas révoler contre lui.
Apart from anger over compensation, what may be more worrying to officials back in New York is the lasting damage in Haiti to the reputation of an organization that's supposed to stand for justice and equality around the world.
C'est pas un bagage cap jambe pour haïtien, jambe camper pour dire mais ministre. Même les dédommages, les pas jambe haïtien pas jambe finir mais honnête non. Il doit pas remettre même si frère mourir dans choléra. C'est tout normal, moi-même m'attraper choléra tout. Je dois pas remettre ministre. Parce que ça a fait mal.